The Shrine of Chaos is live, and the Eye of Terror sees all. It sees all. Everywhere. You cannot escape. It will always see. Mouse clicks and all. Watch if you dare. I'm looking to find the eye. It is not here yet. It will be soon. Where are you? Where are you? You are here, and I shall find you. Because if I don't find you, this is not good for business. Yeah. Oh, here we go. That's what I wanted. Now I see you. Ah, there you are. Alex Leon. Grove and Grove see some wussies. You are a wussy. Joel Miller's in Texas, and he shall stay there. Dookie 461 wants to make a Crimson Slaughter list. That's why you're listening to me. Peter Francis, you shall hate Tau forever. Grim Dark only wants the Iron Warriors. Colossus, you are in danger of hellfire. Majestic Aardvark praises corn, and that is why you shall remain here.
Mini Wargamer Dave here from MiniWargaming.com. Welcome, Wargamers, to the Shrine of Chaos. This is mid-afternoon. It is 3:35 p.m. It's a little bit later than I wanted to be starting this live show. Unfortunately, I ran into some technical difficulties. Got a portable hard drive, hooked it up, transferring some footage. Wanted to make sure that everything was good and not corrupted. It was very important that this footage was backed up. And because of the size in which that I wanted to do, it took a little longer than I needed. I didn't want to risk losing all that work. So, thank you for your patience. You've come here for gifts of chaos? Well, you shall receive gifts of chaos. Very important question. Can you hear me? If you can't hear me, then say so, and I'll do something about it. But if you can, then I'll do nothing about it. Because there's no problem. And it's not good to fix a problem that isn't there. You just create more problems. Although, it is very chaotic of you to do that. I see 3 yeses. I'm assuming you're answering the question if you hear me. There's a bit of a delay. There's like 10-second delay. So I can ask the question and I look at the answer, the live chat. I don't see it right away. But what I do see is comments to questions that aren't being asked at the moment. So I'm literally looking back in time when I look at the comments, and it is pretty awesome. New things coming out. Very excited. We've got the Traitor Legions. We have the... Okay, I got to just relax here for a second. It's too exciting to just... Working on a new series right now, and it is The Reign of Chaos. When I say that, I mean that both literally and figuratively. The show is called The Reign of Chaos, and it is a show dedicated to chaos. It is battle reports, it is list building and reviews, and formation builds and reviews. It is all of that. So stay tuned for that soon. The first episode will be posted this Friday. So in 2 days, the first pair of battle reports, very first mission, very first bat rep will include Emperor's Children list versus a Night Lords list. Very excited. I don't typically bring Emperor's Children, like at all, anywhere, at any time, but because it is included in this lovely book right here, I have done so. I have chosen to not be a respecter of legions and just to try them all, which is why I brought it. And I'm very happy that I did, because I got to see how it was like faring with it on the battlefield. And it was lovely. I loved every second of it. Not going to tell you who won. That doesn't matter so much. It's chaos. No matter who wins, I feel like I win. So that's just how it works in this chaotic universe. Now, in addition to that, list building. Not list tailoring, list building. That's very fun. It's very challenging, actually, to create a Traitor Legions list within 1,500 points. Challenging to create one that I feel is one I'd be totally satisfied with, because I'm always left with, oh, I want to include this, though. Or I want to put more in this formation, but I can't because I don't have the points. That always happens at 1,500 points. 1,850, however, that point level seems to be better. But 2,000 is even better than that. And I actually went up to 2,500 just creating a list. What was it for? I think it was for the Black Legion. I wanted to create something where it was kind of like an all-comers. And I found that that was good. See, now the thing about the Black Legion is that their core formations are different than the other ones. A lot of the other ones include the Chaos Warband as a core formation. And for those who don't know, the Chaos Warband core formation has objective secured, whereas the Black Legion Warband formation does not have objective secured. So that's the unfortunate thing about it. And if I wanted to bring a CAD, according to my understanding, I can't benefit from the Black Legion special rules that I get by being a Black Legion if I take a CAD, because that's a different detachment, right? So it's not included in the Traitor Legion book. Same thing if I wanted to bring a Chaos Warband, because it's a different formation that's not included in the detachment, which is the Black Legion Spear Tip, then I can't use all of the goodness that I get from it. That goodness includes anything with Veterans of the Long War that has the option to take that rule. I just get it for free. Another one is if I have Veterans of the Long War, then usually what that does is it gives you Hatred Space Marines. But instead with Black Legion, that gives you Hatred Armies of the Imperium. Actually, I'm thinking of Traitors Hate. What that gives you is Hatred Everybody. And which is actually better, because you're not just fighting Space Marines all the time, because you're fighting other Traitor Legions, you get Hatred Everyone. Not all the other legions have that. They have veterans, yes, so they hate other Space Marines, yes, but Black Legion also hate everybody, which kind of makes sense. That fits with the fluff. Right, Horace? Chaos will take over. Yes, Yellow Man. 22. Endless hatred. Units that have veterans of the long war have the hatred special rule, can re-roll failed to hit rolls in every round of close combat when attacking units that contain any models from armies of the Imperium. Wow. How powerful is that, man? So, Black Legion fighting like any Space Marines? Any armies of the Imperium? Reroll all failed to hit in all rounds of combat. See, that's cool. That makes it so I want to bring my Black Legion more. That makes it so I want to actually make some new tanks for my Black Legion list. I've had these tanks for years, and they are ugly. Let me tell you. Take a look at this. This is my one of like 7 rhinos that I have. First off, there's no side hatch doors. They are just not there. And for the life of me, I cannot find the guns on top. So every time I take one of these tanks, which is often, I have to immediately mark a David with a combi bolter because you don't see no physical combi bolter on there. So that's a little unfortunate. But that's okay because new tanks are coming. New tanks are being assembled. And new tanks will be included in the list. And I'm very excited. Oh, man. So, Reign of Chaos. Stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned for Fall of Cadia, man. Stay tuned for the time of ending. I was reading through the Fall of Cadia book that just came out. There's 3 chapters, like 100 pages of fluff. And I don't normally get as excited about the fluff as one might think when it comes to things that aren't chaos related. I'll say that much. That I get more enjoyment out of looking at the lists and the formations and the possible builds. But for some reason, I was drawn to read this one, and it really stood out to me. And I am very excited to recreate some of the battles that are depicted in this book. And it's actually sparked a flame within me to go back and do the same for some of the other books, such as The Wrath of Magnus and The Curse of the Wolfen. I want to do this. I actually want to comb over the battles and find out exactly which armies were used and be really fluffy about it. I think that would add a new dynamic to the battle reports that I create that would be fun, and hopefully you guys would enjoy as well. In fact, please do leave a comment and let me know if you guys think that's a good idea. Because if you think that's a good idea, then that'll encourage me to do it even more. If I see that that's a thing that is accepted as a neat thing that you would like to watch and be entertained by, then I shall accommodate accordingly. Just like in the sit-and talks, when you leave comments for me and you ask me to do things to other people in the office, like, I don't know, maybe just put something cold down Quirk's shirt or whatever it might be, for some reason, the forces of chaos inside me compel me to do these things, and I can't help myself. Go into Matt's office and tickle him. Well, I can't help it. It just happens. So if you guys leave these comments, it's just going to happen. You know it will. So, 8th edition, do you think it's coming this year? Well, let me tell you, Dead End. Well, here's the thing, right? Is that not the rumor? That it's coming this year? If it comes, it comes. But this is what I do feel, or what I know, what I've heard, all together in one, is that it's not going to be what they did to Age of Sigmar, or what they did to Warhammer Fantasy, where they just kind of killed everything. This will be a continuation of the story, as opposed to the killing of the story. So that ultimately will be a good thing for us, and for everyone, and for all parties involved. That's just my take on it. Shoot Matt. Well, you got to be more specific there. Shoot Matt with what? Just this! Okay, Shia. Is Quirk the son of Slenderman? Andrew Downer? That's something you're going to have to ask Quirk in a sit and talk. He may or may not answer. Do you think normal Eldar will get any new units, not Dark Eldar, who I know are? Okay, when it comes to Eldar, there are many different brands of cheese. And really, you just got to go with the cheese that most people like, which is probably either cheddar or, I just said cheddar without the R. I don't know why. Or mozzarella. Maybe make it a marble. You mix the two. But you go with something like stinky, like Limburger, and you ain't going to be making friends. So your safe bet is just to not bring Eldar. Because they're so powerful, man. Like, they're so powerful. You know what? We actually, here at the studio, we rarely actually field Eldar. If someone comes in with an Eldar list, we may or may not play against it. But actually fielding it, it's just way too powerful. Takes the fun out of it. But if you must, then you must. If it was the future, I don't know if I'd want to be a space elf. I think I would want to be a hulking mass of strength and chaos. That's probably what I'd want to be. Which actually probably equates to maybe a demon prince? Possibly a chaos lord. Okay, I just paint the things. I don't play. No one to play with. You know what, Chicago? That is a shame. You're missing out on half the world of this fun. Because playing the game is why you make things. You know, actually, I look at it two ways. There's two gamers in my mind. There's the painter, and then there's the player, and then there's the crossover of everyone in between, right? So the painters like to paint the models. They like the hobby aspect of it. That's kind of their focus on it, right? And I know some painters that are just painters. They're not into the playing of the game. And the opposite end, I know players that are just players and they don't care about painting. They are no problem fielding gray minis on the table. It's very extreme, but I know some of them. And then you get the people with the spectrum in between everywhere. I know some people who are smack dab in the middle who enjoy painting a little bit and play, and they like everything. They like everything about the hobby. Some people prefer getting other people to paint their miniatures, whether it's because they don't have the time or they don't have the talent or skill, whatever it may be. That is the eventual outcome of what happens to their armies. Some people are really into the fluff, and people that are into the fluff, they get a certain depth out of the game that others don't as much. And I find that it is the fluff people that have very interesting armies, because their armies tell stories, and the stories are what ultimately what bring them to the game, right? Why do you like that character? Why do you like Abaddon? Well, because he's awesome, and he's cool, and he's very hard to beat, and he has good stats. Or the fluff reason, why do you like Abaddon? Well, because he was the heir to the throne of Horus, and he is pretty much as vicious as he ever was. He just has different colored armor, and his story is pretty sweet. He's now on his 13th Black Crusade, and this time he will be successful. The others weren't failures. They were just all pieces of a puzzle that has now finally come together. All happening on Cadia Secundus. I love how the books are written, by the way. I just love it. I find that the wording is very eloquent. And I actually do this little thing with myself. Because of the Rangers and the practicing of that and doing the accent, the fantasy accent. When I read from a codex, I read in the accent, and I read it out loud to myself, because then I get all forms of communication within my brain and my psyche, right? I'm reading it for one, I'm hearing it auditorily through my ears, and I'm seeing it with my eyes. So I get all like three forms of communication there. So it sticks in my brain better, and it's just fun to read dramatically in the voice. You should try it sometime. Read it to yourself. This is like a story time for yourself. My personal recommendation. that you do it in an accent. It's a lot of fun. Dave, do you have any specific wishes for Chaos in 8th edition, such as the rules changes, even the same model redesign, such as a new Chaos Lord model, or a redesign of regular Chaos Marines are chosen? Crimson Wargamer asks. That's a good question. I hope that Chaos get drop pods. Yes. With automatic built-in demonic possession. I think that'd be kind of cool. And Fluffy, where you got to roll a die and on a 1 it eats a guy. I think that's pretty cool. Even though it's a detriment to you, it's very chaotic and it's very fluffy. Drop pods, though, that's the number one thing. Will it happen? Probably not. It's going to be realistic. And I say that because that would come in a chaos update. That wouldn't come in a necessary an edition update, right? But it might. I don't know. I can't say. Would it be amazing? Yes. Would we see more of them on the battlefield? Yes. Would we see more models? Yes. Would we see more infantry? Yes, because they will come in drop pods. Now, I know there's the Dread Claw, but it's not the same thing. It's not. It's a lot more expensive for a Dread Claw than it is for a drop pod. But what can you do? That'd be my number one choice would be a drop pod, because that's a new unit. Revamping old units, I'd be okay with that too. New Chaos Lord, yeah, we can certainly do with more builds of Chaos Lords. We have a few at our disposal, but we could use a few more. See, what they probably should do is make it easy for you to make a Traitor Legion Chaos Lord to your liking, because right now it involves a bit of conversion. Like a bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit. But I think that given more options there, and this is the first world problem. Oh man, I wish I had more Chaos Lord options. Like, there's a ton already. Don't get me wrong. There's a huge amount of options for Chaos Lords, but a new model would just be cool. I think they should come out with a new Abaddon model. That would be cool too, because his scaling is a little off when you consider things, right? Take a look at the new Karn model. That's amazing, right? Cool and dynamic. The new or the old Abaddon model, or the current Abaddon model, a little small. In my mind, he should be the size of an Obliterator, which he is in my army because he's been converted as such. He has Obliterator armor, and his legs and arms have been elongated, and he is the size of a menacing Hulk of chaotic goodness. When he's on the battlefield, you see him. He doesn't blend into the Bringers of Despair, to his Terminators next to him. So yeah, new Abaddon model, that would be on my wish list. That'd be number one, man. Number two. Number one's drop pods. Number two is Abaddon. Let's see, I'm just taking a look at the shelf here. What would I want? Yeah, he would be really, really sweet. I think we could probably do with some sort of land speeder equivalent, or heck, a land speeder, only chaos. Wouldn't that be cool? Now, granted, we have some things that exist in chaos that don't exist in the Imperium, such as like Mauler Fiends or Forge Fiends. Those don't exist. Helldrakes don't exist, right? Like, we have specific units that we have that are special to us. But the thing is, we used to be them. So we should get what they have, because chaos corrupts all. But in my mind, it's actually cleanses. Chaos cleanses all. That's really how it works, right? What Loyalist Legion would you play? Would I play, or do I play? Because I already play some Loyalist Legion. I play Blood Angels, Space Wolves. You know what? After reading some of the fluff about the Black Templars, I think I would want to play Black Templars. See, because in the Fall of Cadia book, Codex supplement, here are the Black Templars. They're mentioned many times throughout this epic battle. And they're always described at being in the forefront and never surrendering. Always standing their ground and just fighting to the very end, to the very last man. They just always fight, and they always stay there. They are a rock. You plant them in the ground and they stay there until they are eviscerated down to their toes. They are awesome. I think I would want to fight with them. We should get a Studio Sisters army. Yes, it's a very good idea, Hunter. In fact, funny you should say that, because one is being worked on right now. It shall show up soon in battle reports. No pity, no remorse, no fear. Black Legion for life. Now, this is my theory as to why it's so easy to get a Black Templar army. It's because they've been around for a long time. And I was actually talking to Matt about it this morning. They've been around for a long time, and they, like with their codices that have come out, it's kind of weakened them a bit because they used to be better, apparently. I don't know their old rules, didn't look at them. But from what I understand, that's what the case was. And so people have had this army for a long time, but they don't necessarily play with them. And so existing models are out there. It's not like a brand new army that you get. It's really hard to get a new Tzeentch army because, like, you can buy one, it's brand new, but it's hard to buy it off of other people because they are getting it and it's brand new. They don't want to sell it. And people that would sell it, they don't have it because it's brand new. Whereas Black Templar have been around for years and years and years. It's easier to get it because it's not a new thing right now. And it's not a flavor of the month where everyone wants it at the moment. So easy to get it. We just recently got a Studio Black Templar army. I should take a look at it. See, it would be playing completely for fluff because other than some of their chapter tactics, I think it's pretty much just a straight up Space Marine army, right? You got the flavor of the tactics and the color of the armor. Other than that, you're playing the Space Marine army when you're playing Black Templars. So that's why you play for fluff reasons when you play with them. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to recreate some battles with them. I think that'd be awesome. Matteo Zanardi says, Dave, have you ever played a game with Tau? Oh, such a question. Oh. The answer is yes. I have played a game with Tau. And this is why people that play with Tau shouldn't play with Tau, is because they need to get into the business of making friends. Because people that play with Tau are the people that just enjoy slaughtering others without seeing the face of their opponent, ever. If I want to sit at the back of the table and shoot the entire game, let's play Battleship. That's my take on it. It's no fun. There's one tactic with Tau and only one tactic. And you know what? There are some formations in Blood Angels that have a fighting chance against the Tau. There's some formations in Space Wolves that have a fighting chance against Tau. Chaos, on the other hand, I regret to say, is extremely difficult to stand up to a Tau list because they don't have drop pods. And every list that is good that can stand up to a Tau list, they have drop pods because they come in and then they just flamer Tau and they fire Tau. And that's what they do. They shoot them and they flamer them before they can get them. And if you destroy half their army, then maybe you'll get a chance to actually do something to them. That's all I got to say about that. Dave, give Tau another chance, Spencer Cohen says. Nope, Brecken Hip says. I think that I shouldn't give Tau another chance. That wouldn't make sense because that would imply that I gave him a chance to begin with. And so that just contradicts itself. Hey, Dave, just wanted to say, love your banter bat rips. McBain Royal. Thank you, McBain. I can't help but think of a Simpsons character when I see your name, and I'm sure that's the first time you've heard that in your life. That must mean you're big and huge, and you lift, and you're swole. Would you play Angry Marines one day? I probably would, because I like the very idea of them. Have you ever played Legion of the Damned before? I actually have not. Again, something else that I'd be interested in trying out. Corn Storm Boys. I love life. Life is good. Just the image of that in my mind is making me think thoughts of wonder and goodness. Dave, can you shave your beard and send it to me in the mail? Total T. I'm not going to lie. That is a disgusting idea. And I don't know why you would leave that in the comments. Probably to get a dramatic reaction, and you have received one, good person. I say person, I don't know. Your name doesn't indicate. I played against a Deathguard army with Imperial Guard. Very sad face. Ryan Benfield, yes indeed, that would be a very sad face. Because, why? Well, this is where we whip out the Traitor Legions, and we explain exactly why that would be. Would you look at that? I turned right to it. How Providence is that? Deathguard Vectorium and Sons of Mortarion. Oh, man, I love it. Okay, Forces of the Deathguard. Hands down, this is the strongest Traitor Legion in the Traitor Legions book. If I wanted to not make friends, I would just field Deathguard all the time. Now, incidentally, I am bolstering my Deathguard army, and I will be playing with them, just not all the time. This is the difference. This is what they get. You have to take the Mark and Nurgle. You don't have a choice. See, that's taken away from you, and something better is given to you. Mark and Nurgle, you have it. You got to take veterans at no additional points cost, so that's a good thing. Veterans increases your leadership, and it gives you hatred. Space Marines. Any demons must have Demon and Nurgle, special rule. And then if you're a Psyker, you can choose to generate all your psychic powers from the Nurgle discipline. So not bad, right? So you gain the following rules when you're Deathguard. And this is amazing. This is what I love. Check this out. Units that have veterans of the Long War have fearless and feel no pain. Wow. That means everything, kind of, except for cultist. Veterans of the Long War, man. That's pretty much everything in your army that you would normally bring, right? So let's think about this for a second. Bikers, that's the number one unit that comes to my mind when you have veterans of the Long War and you have feel no pain. Bikers with feel no pain is mean. Why? Because your toughness 6, not toughness 5. Mark and Nurgle increases your toughness. Toughness 6, feel no pain. How awesome is that? So, lots of bikers, like an army of bikers maybe, because that's just amazing, right? I got a lot of bikers coming, like a lot. 21 to be exact. 3 units of 7. It's very Nurgly. Nurgly cuggly. Here's another one. Oh, haha. I do need to mention this. This is important. As much as you gain fearless and feel no pain, your initiative characteristic is reduced by 1. So everything is like initiative 3 now. But you know what? I think that's okay. I think I would definitely want that trade-off, because you think about it. You're fighting Marines, you're fighting other Traitor Legions, you will still be a lot more resilient, even though you're attacking second, because you're tougher to hurt and you feel no pain. So the chances of you surviving are drastically increased. Check this out. Units that have veterans of the Long War have relentless. Okay. All right. So first unit I think of there is Havocs. Whoa. Okay. So now normally I don't bring Havocs in vehicles, but I think in this particular case, Havocs in vehicles is a viable option because they have relentless. How amazing is that? Normally I don't bring like a heavy weapon in a squad of just normal chaos or chosen, right? You can bring a heavy weapon in chosen. Normally it's all the lesser like assault weapons, but now you can, and it doesn't affect you. It affects you if you want to charge something, but you're Nurgle. Chances are you're not going to charge first. You know, you will sometimes, but that's not what you're building your list for. You're building your list for resiliency. You're building your list to get your bikers up there, your resilient bikers up the battlefield and firing off their meltas and flamers and 2 squads of infantry and vehicles, and you are loving your life. Wow. Amazing. Just amazing. So you have 2 possible core formations that you can bring in the Deathguard Vectorium. One being the Chaos Warband, which we all know gives you objective secured, which is awesome. Now, you must bring the Chaos Warband in order to benefit from objective secured bikers, because you get 1 to 3 units in the Warband with bikers. So you're going to have 3 units of bikers, I think. 7 bikers per squad? You can have more than that, but why? You can bring 2 special weapons in the biker squad even if you have 3 bikers. So, I mean, yeah, you could have just more wounds, more bodies, right? Which is obviously always a good idea. But to keep it fluffy, I prefer to keep it at 7. Also, you need more points just to put in other things too. 1 to 3 units of Havocs or Hellbrute. Your Havocs, man. You got your Relentless now. So your Chaos Warband is going to look very different than other armies and their Chaos Warbands because of your special abilities that you're given. 1 to 3 units of Chosen, Terminators, or Possessed. Yeah, see, again, Chosen, that's where Chosen come out, and that's where they shine because of the Relentless, the Feel No Pain, and the Fearlessness. Also, your Bikers, again, they're not fearless. I mean, they are fearless. That's what I meant to say. And then 2 to 6 units of Chaos Space Marines. This is where you would probably min them. Bring in 2 units of 5. And just focus everything else on the rest. This is where I'd probably put a Chaos Lord on a bike, attach him to a unit, and keep him safe in there with all those bikers and jinks and wounds. Favorite Scions. That's a special rule you get with the Chaos Warband. That's where you get to roll twice on the Chaos Boon table and choose 1 or both of the results. So chances of becoming a Demon Prince are increased. Chances of not becoming a spawn are also increased. You can it's harder to become a spawn there, which is good. That's a big deal. Objective secured though, man. Having objective secured bikers. Whew. Now, alternatively, you can bring like just more units of guys and put them in rhinos because all of your rhinos then have objective secured, and so that just makes life hard for the enemy when that happens. That makes it tough because they have more things to shoot at, they have more things to contend with, and it makes it better for you, more advantageous and strategic for you. Gives you more options, which is pretty sweet. So excited, man. Would you use Black Templar characters? I don't know Black Templars well enough to know what I would field. That's the truth of that. I have to look more into them. All I know is that from the Fall of Cadia, when I was reading, I got really inspired to look at them and to see what they're all about. Thomas Aguirre says, Dave, I'm sorry, I might start Tau. It's not too late. You don't have to end your life of happiness. You can choose the right here and not play Tau. You can. You have the choice. Nothing is forcing you. That's what I'll say. Play Thousand Sons. Zalvian Productions. Playing Thousand Sons would definitely be a good thing. I'm excited to field my Thousand Sons army. I'm going to get a new Thousand Sons army very soon. Had one painted up, and it is incredibly exciting. And get this. I got a Magnus painted up by a good friend of mine named Ryan, and I'll be showing off his painting commission studio later when I get the models in, so you'll know exactly who painted up the army. But just to give you a little tidbit right now, this is very exciting. Super stoked about this. The Magnus model that he painted up for me, he posted some pics online, which apparently went viral. So viral that GW contacted him and asked him if they could feature the wings of Magnus that he painted on their Instagram page. Very cool. The best thing about this is that I'll be getting this model. I'm very excited about that. Thank you, Ryan, for painting up Magnus at the magnitude of which you did. Thank you, GW, for seeing the awesomeness of the wings and posting it on your page. I love it. I love it. So if you go on the GW Instagram page, you see Wings of Magnus on there. You know that those are my wings. Those are my Magnus. That's my boy. Painted up by Ryan. He gets the credit for painting. Very, very fun. Didn't Quirk paint one? He didn't paint. Didn't Quirk painted you one yet? He did paint a Magnus model. It was not mine. He did not give it to me. And like a day later, he sold it. So Connor Casson says, Dave, how do I optimize each Traitor Legion and which is best? Now, when you say optimize, are you talking about like power gaming? Are you talking about which is the best possible strength-wise list? Then the answer to that is, it's a toss-up between the Emperor's Children and the Deathguard. That's just my opinion, without having fully optimized each list. I have not optimized each list. I'll be absolutely honest. I've gone through them, and I've looked at them, and I've seen what's cool. But that's what the Reign of Chaos series is all about. It's all about optimizing, and it's all about seeing different configurations and seeing what's strong and seeing what's viable and seeing what's fluffy and seeing what's fun. That's what it is. Optimizing every single one, have not done it, but just from the feel of everything, I would guess that it would be Deathguard or Emperor's Children. Why? I'm telling you why with Deathguard. Because of the Feel No Pain. Everything that has veterans has Feel No Pain. And Fearless, that's a big deal, man. Because Traitor Legions, half of them don't have Fearless. That's a big deal. They can be affected by fear. Now everything's leadership 10 unless you kill the champion, because everything has veterans of the Long War, which increases their leadership. So it's hard to make them run, but it's not impossible, especially if you beat them in combat. That there you go, right? You can sweep and advance them, which kind of feels like an unheard of thing, but it is what it is, unless you're Deathguard. They're fearless, and other ones are too, but particularly Deathguard. And then you get the Relentless. Now the only thing here is the lower initiative, right? That's the thing that hurts you. The thing that helps you is the higher toughness. So very strong. Now the reason why Emperor's Children is a contender is because everything with veterans, you get 6-up Feel No Pain automatically. Now 6-up, you might be thinking, oh, it's not that great. But here's the kicker. You know how everything gets icons? Everything as in World Eaters, Deathguard, Thousand Sons, or Emperor's Children? Well, if you choose to get the icon here in your squads, which in this case is the icon of excess, that increases your Feel No Pain from a 6-up to a 4-up. That is a big deal. So this makes everything that you would bring with the icon of excess more viable. Bikers with 4-up Feel No Pain now, and a higher initiative. Can you imagine that? Bikers that go in and charge, and they attack first. They're attacking Traitor Legions or other Space Marines, and you have a 4-up Feel No Pain. Dang. See, now that is, man, that's incredible. See, that gets people excited about things. And just on your regular squads, man, right? You get 4-up Feel No Pain on your squads. So, and you're attacking first. So, and the initiative thing is kind of the big deal here, because I normally wouldn't bring Warp Talons, but because you put a Marcus Slanesh on them, you're attacking at initiative 5, and you have Veterans of the Long War, which gives you Hatred Space Marines, then you can do it, right? Because you're re-rolling to hit when you're fighting Space Marines, or you get your Shred, and you attack first. That's the big deal, is you attack first with them, because they're incredibly expensive. That's another thing that, if there's a third thing on the list here of things that I want in 8th edition which probably won't happen. But that's why it's a wish list, right? Number 1 being drop pods. Number 2 being Abaddon, having a new model for him. Number 3 would be making Warp Talons cheaper. Either that or give them like 2 wounds each, because they are so expensive. I hardly bring them because I can bring a squad of 5 or I can bring a squad of 20 something else, right? Like it's hard for me to bring them every time. But when I do, because I do sometimes, they have the Marcus Slash. They must. That is a must. "20-man blob of Emperor's Children with the icon." Yeah. Let's see. Does the icon of access rule work for Slaanesh demons as well? What it says is anything that can bring the icon of excess. If you can bring icon of excess on demons, which I can't tell you offhand because I don't bring demons enough to know, which I don't believe you can, because those are banners, right? Now, without knowing, my instinct would be no, you can't. I could be wrong, but offhand, probably not. And the Emperor's Children Warlord trait adds the +1 to the Feel of Pain of the Warlord's entire unit. Bwah! Breckenip. Yeah. You are right. You are right about that. That's insane. But that's a Warlord trait. You got to roll on it. 1 in 6 chance of getting it. Well, I guess better than 1 in 6 chance because you can re-roll it, right? If you don't like it. Now, the cool thing about the Emperor's Children as well is that you... See, the good thing about them is their detachment and the formations, the core formations that you can choose from. So with that, we're going to look at it here just for a moment. You can choose between the Chaos Warband or the Cacophony. We know what the Chaos Warband is because I went through it. You get objectives secured, right? Focus a lot on Havoc, Spikes, Chosen, 2 to 6 units of Chaos Marines and a Warlord, right? And a Chaos Lord. You can bring a Sorcerer as well, I suppose. But if you're going to bring a Sorcerer, go with Tzeentch. That's just my opinion. In addition to this, you get another core choice option, which is the Cacophony. Now, the cool thing about the Cacophony is that it has this. You got to bring a Chaos Lord or Lucius the Eternal with the Cacophony. And then you bring 3 to 6 units of Noise Marines. See, now Noise Marines, you can't bring Noise Marines unless it's part of the Cacophony. As a formation, I mean. There's no other formation here in the Rapture Battalion, which is the Emperor's Children detachment, that allows you to bring them other than the Cacophony. But it's not so bad. It's not so bad bringing them here because these are the special rules that you get. This is amazing. Split Fire. For those of us who are unfamiliar with sonic weaponry, there are 3 types. There's the Sonic Blasters, which are salvo weapons. It's a 2-3 salvo. It's basically bolter stats. It's strength 4 AP5. It's a salvo 2-3 and it ignores cover. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. The Doom Siren, which you can put on your aspiring champion, is a strength 5 AP3 flamer. Awesome, right? And lastly, you get your Blastmaster, which is pretty much a missile launcher. Only again, it ignores cover. And you have 2 frequencies. The one is it's a small blast, and the other is a assault 2 shot. It's a strength 5 assault 2 shot. But when you are part of the Cacophony, your sonic weapons have shred. See, that's a big deal, especially when you bring a Doom Siren on your aspiring champion when you're a Noise Marine. How awesome is that? Now, here's the kicker. When you bring a max amount of units in the Cacophony, which is 6 units of Noise Marines, then you get +1 strength to all your sonic weapons. That means your Doom Sirens are no longer strength 5, they're strength 6. Your regular sonic blasters, normally strength 4, are now strength 5. With Shred. Isn't that incredible? That's awesome. So you're wounding other Marines on 3s. Rerolling. Pretty cool. I like it. I like it so much that I've fielded it a few times already. And whether I win or lose, I just feel like I'm winning because of all of the death and carnage I'm causing on the battlefield. Now, it's very expensive bringing this because you can imagine 6 units of Noise Marines. Noise Marines aren't cheap. Okay? They're a specialized unit. They have weapons, but you need to pay for. You could bring Noise Marines with bolters, but spend an extra 3 points a model and get a Sonic Blaster at least. And then you can at least get Shred on them. That's the cool thing about the Cacophony. Now, the trade-off is you don't get the objective secured for not bringing the Chaos Warband. That's the trade-off. But is it good enough that it can actually replace that and be viable? It's a good question. Maybe. I have yet to bring a Chaos Warband Rapture Battalion. I have not done it yet. I've always brought the Cacophony. And you can understand why. Because the Cacophony gives you the sonic weapons at higher strength and shred and split fire. So when you got your Blastmaster, you can shoot it at one thing, and you get your Sonic Blasters shooting at another. So this is all around goodness. That's why the very first mission, very first bat rep in the Reign of Chaos series is Emperor's Children versus Night Lords. It's Emperor's Children. Testing it out. Now let's talk about the command benefits that you get in the Rapture Battalion. You get combat drugs. Combat drugs is you roll on a chart here, and it's a D6 result, and it's one of 6 things that you can add to all of your non-vehicle units. And it lasts for the duration of the game. Those things include +1 ballistic skill, +1 weapon skill, initiative, strength, toughness, and attacks. Wow. Again, awesome, right? Just another bonus to everything. Now, granted, it's not a sure thing what you're going to get. The most redundant one that I see here is initiative. You already have +1 initiative. You don't really need initiative 6 on stuff, unless you're fighting a Chaos Lord. And even still, having another initiative, that's probably the worst one that you can get. That's the third option there. You know, everything else is good and decent. The best one probably is ballistic skill, especially if you're focusing on the Cacophony when you're shooting stuff, because you're no longer hitting on 3s, you're hitting on 2s at that point, and then your weapons shred. So that makes you that much better. That'd be my number 1 choice. After that, I'm pretty sure it'd be toughness, because your Chaos Lord, he'd be harder to instant kill, and your other units, they'd be harder to kill with a 4-up Feel No Pain. Your bikers would be toughness 6. They would be pretty much the Nurgle ones, right? With the exception of the fear thing. They would still be afraid. Yeah, they'd still be afraid. Your Noise Marines wouldn't, though, because they're fearless. You said, imagine fighting Eldar, though. Initiative is going to help. Yes, that's true. That is true. But that's probably the only thing that I would field against Eldar is Emperor's Children. Other than that, I'm just asking for trouble. Dave, what do you think about Renegades and Heretics? Decay and Shark. Well, let me tell you, I think that Renegades are Renegades and Heretics are Heretics. And I don't really bring them that much. Although, I could. Steven Stevenson, where is Fabius Bile? Well, he's on the shelf right now. I'm looking right at him. And you know what? Yeah, I suppose he leans towards Slaanesh, right? So I'm not able to bring him, though. I can't bring him in this Rapture Battalion. Because the only unique character that I can bring in a Rapture Battalion is Lucius the Eternal. No other unique units, unfortunately. So if I'm going to bring him, probably bring him in a Black Legion list. See, that's the cool thing about the Black Legion. Let's talk about them again. Black Legion, you can bring other things. They're not going to penalize you. Nope, I'm wrong. Haha, the only unique unit you can bring is Abaddon. So you can't even bring him on a Black Legion list. You just got to bring him in a regular CAD. That's how he would come in. But going back to the Black Legion, the cool thing you can do here with the Black Legion is that you can mix and match you guys, because you can include any mark that is able to bring a mark. And so, that being said, what we will do is we are going to go over some of the things here. Well, Fabius did go AWOL from the Legion to pursue his own agenda, Supermarine / Primarchs. Yes, I believe that is true. What are your thoughts on Slaneshmas? Not sure what that is. You can bring Fabius Bile in a Chaos Warband formation. Yes, but you can't bring him as part of one of the detachments in the Traitor Legion's books, because those are restricted to certain unique characters. But you can bring a Chaos Warband formation, absolutely. Angron versus Horus, Primarch battle. That is a thing, and that would be something. Hi, Dave. What would you suggest to get for an Alpha Legion CAD for a new player, and what would you put on your Lord? Well, I know that Alpha Legion focuses a lot on cultists. The FAQ came out for that, talking about the tie to traitor special rule, because there was 2 rules saying that when a unit of cultists die, you roll a die, and on a 4+, that unit comes back. And since there was 2 individual units stating this, 2 individual rules stating this, the question was, do I roll 2 dice? And if I get 4 up on both, then 2 more units come in? The FAQ states that you have 2 chances of them coming back on a 4+. But if you get 2 4+, only 1 unit comes back. But that being said, you basically get free units of cultists when bringing Alpha Legion. So what should you do? You bring cultists, focusing on Alpha Legion. Not only is it fluffy, it is tactically sound. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to double check this. As an auxiliary choice, you're able to bring the Lost and the Damned. Yes. You bring a Chaos Warband as your core choice for the Alpha Legion Insurgency Force. But for the actual auxiliary choice, which you need at least 1 in your detachment, you bring the Lost and the Damned, which are cultists galore. And you're going to bring cultists, and you bring Dark Apostles too. Don't forget that. You bring a Dark Apostle, you make them zealot. So, good stuff. All right, let's see. There is a severe lack of Necron talk around here. Javier D. Okay, so you know what? I will say this about Necrons. When reading in the Fall of Cadia book, which I'm very excited about, I was reading a lot about Trazine. Trazine is a character. It's a Necron character, and I like how he thinks. I like how he is described. I like how it seems like he's very cautious and curious, and how he likes his little tesseract, and that he likes to collect things. I think that's pretty sweet. And so much so that because it's like an addiction for him. That's all he's thinking about all the time. He just wants to collect things and bring them into his collection. And no matter what he's seeing, if he's seeing a whole squad of guys dying, he's not thinking to himself, oh, a squad of guys is dying. He's thinking, oh, what artifacts are they dropping so that I can pick one up and add it to my collection? So it's just a very interesting character. And I like how it describes his movements and the things that he does. And it was pretty sweet because he was interacting with another character. I can't remember if it was Celestine or if it was another one of the sisters. For argument's sake, I'll say it's Celestine. I could be wrong on this, but basically, he was like slithering in to this location where she was standing, right? And she knew that he was there, and so she turns around and points a gun on him. But he puts his hand out, and all these scarabs come out of him, and they just basically prevent her from doing anything. Like, they prevent her from shooting or talking. And just the way that it described these scarabs coming out of his hand and locking up mechanisms and preventing things from happening, it was just very eloquent and amazing. I totally pictured it in my mind, and it was awesome. I loved it. So that made me like Trazine. That's your Necron talk. Game-wise, Necrons are cheese. Don't bring Necrons. Make friends. Don't kill them. You can kill them. Just give them a fair chance. It's my take on it. Yeah. Yeah. If an opponent has Necrons, my immediate question is, what other armies do you collect? Let's play another game. Because Necrons aren't fun to fight. Unless I'm bringing Blood Angels and I drop in those... Or if I have like a Black Mane detachment where I get free drop pods in my Space Wolves, then yeah, sure, I'll bring them. But that's not fun. What I like are games that, when you look at the armies beforehand, you can't tell who's going to win. You just look at the armies and you think, wow, those are two really cool looking armies. I'm excited to see this matchup. I can't tell who's going to win. We give our fate to you, dice gods, and we will roll, and whatever happens, happens. And we know that has nothing to do with one overpowered list. It has everything to do with chance and tactics and fairness, as much as it can possibly be, because 40K is not balanced. Never will be. I say never, but 8th edition is around the road, and I don't know what they have in store. But right now, it's not balanced, and so if that is the case, which it is, that's how I feel about Necrons, and there is your Necron talk. You asked for it, you got it. Technically, you didn't ask for it, you just simply stated a fact. Then no Necron talk. Now there is. Recommendations for non-Marine Chaos armies. What would I do? Well, here is the issue with that. Is that if you want to bring a Traitor Legion force, you're going to invariably bring armies of Marines, because that's what the formations are made up of. But let's say that was the goal here. You know what? That was actually a very interesting challenge then. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Let's start with the Black Legion. Yeah, see, in both of the core formations, you have Marines. You have the Warband, which is like, you know what? Okay, no, I accept the challenge. Because in the Warband, you just don't have to bring Marines. Like, for example, you got a Chaos Lord and you have to bring it. 2 to 6 units of Marines, okay, you min those squads. You get 5-man, 5-man. 1 to 3 units of Terminators or Possessed in any combination. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at the Black Legion Warband, aren't I? Yeah, because that is the Black Legion Warband, not just the regular Chaos Warband. So I guess in that case, I would focus on Terminators, right? And then here you got 1 to 3 units of Raptors, Warp Talons, or Bikers. Maybe Raptors. I mean, you bring those in. No, those are Marines. Bikers. It's going to have to be Bikers again. And then 1 to 3 units of Havocs or Hellbrutes, so it's going to have to be Hellbrutes, right? So those are your alternatives. But that's not a very good army. It's not, because I prefer having Marines. I prefer having them in vehicles, and I prefer having the weapons on them. That's my preference. It's rare that I don't bring Marines. Hounds of Abaddon. That's Marine heavy. Yeah, that is. Hounds of Abaddon is actually a very fun formation. And the Hounds of Abaddon were mentioned greatly in the Fall of Cadia. And the Fall of Cadia is a recommendation that I have to read it, and to read through the battles, and to love life, and to craft battles after it. Matt's doing a fantastic job at this right now. He also read The Fall of Cadia. He is crafting battles around that fluff, and they are fantastic games. I highly recommend the battle reports that he is working on right now and that he has already created. He's created 4 that have been posted. First one being Witch Hunters versus Imperium, I'll say, I think. And then another one he did, I know, was the Iron Wolves versus the Iron Warriors. And so that was fun because very fluffy, builds them fluffy. So fun games. And I want to get into this too because, like I said before, earlier on, a spark has lit a flame and I want to do it. I just want to do it. What's going to stop me? Let's slip the hounds. 1 to 3 units of Berserkers, 1 to 3 units of Chaos Marines, and 1 to 3 units of Raptors, Warp Talons, or Chaos Bikers. 1 Chaos Lord as well, and the Hounds of Abaddon. That's what it is. Cool thing about the Hounds of Abaddon is that you get the Mark of Khorne for free on all the units that can bring the Mark of Khorne. Which means 1 to 3 units of Berserkers, you bring 1 unit because you already get it for free. Why waste the opportunity to get free points on something that gets it already? Mark of Khorne, for those of us that don't know, you get Rage and Counterattack with Mark of Khorne. Svit, I say. And you get +1 strength when you make a charge and you roll an 8 or higher. Fluffy. I like it. Okay. You know what? Okay. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Had to talk to, who was I talking about this? Steve or Josh, I don't remember. But anyway, cool idea. And the idea is this. We are given a challenge. And based on that challenge, we create 2 lists. And then we just fight each other with those lists. A challenge could be this. Create an army that must include Karn the Betrayer. Go. So we create our armies. We don't know what we're creating each. They can look completely different from each other. And we set a points limit, obviously. And then we bring those 2 lists together and we fight. Heck, we can even just discuss the list. Either way, it'd be fun. So I think that challenge should be incorporated somehow in the Reign of Chaos series. That's actually a good enough challenge to be included in any series. So, just as an example, let's do this. Leave me a challenge in the chat as it relates to the Traitor Legions, and I shall do it. Let's play this little game. I think it'll be fun. Okay? I'm going to wait a few seconds, though, because I know that there's a bit of delay on the feed here, on the chat. But let's do it, because I think it'll be a blast. That would be awesome. I'd love that. Jake, peace. I would love if you loved it, and you do. Okay, how about you both create a 1,500 point list with 1,000 points of close combat units? See, that's a good idea. That's a good example of a challenge that we would do. Bring 2 full squads of Noise Marines. Okay, so again, another challenge based around that. You know what I should do then? I'm gonna post a video, and this will be the start of many others, because it, like the slow grow campaigns that we have done and that we're going to be doing in the near future, it's driven by you guys. You guys leave the comments. We grab your comments. We focus on your comments, and we cater to what you guys have left, your ideas. That's the thing that I like. I like the interaction, the you and the us, because I can see you painting your miniatures. I see it. I see the food on the table. That's not good for you. You shouldn't eat that. I'm looking at you right now, and I can see you. I see you blinking. It's a fun game. Do you see me? Well, we know the answer to that, but I can see you. That's the fun part about this. What you working on? I think you're working on something fun there. I can't quite see it because I can only see your face. So you got to hold it in front of the camera, and then I'll see it. See, that makes a lot more sense, right? So let's look back at the challenges. Challenge as many independent characters as possible. Excellent challenge. See, that'd be interesting, right? Let's just pack this. Let's pack this list with as many independent characters. And see, that one doesn't even necessarily have to include 2 Traitor Legions. That can be like, okay, I'm going to bring Ultramarines, And then I'll bring Black Legion. So we'll fight these two armies against each other. Pack as many as you can. And maybe the army that gets more, that has more, has like objective secured or something. No, that'd be way too overpowered. You get some sort of bonus. Get an extra victory point at the end. Something like that. Right? Or if you have more independent characters alive at the end of the game, you get one extra victory point. Armies with no AP and low strength. No AP. Okay. So like armies with no AP? Does that even exist? Okay, well, cultists, right? Their guns suck. What else in Chaos has no AP? Probably have to be low AP, because no AP is like an army of cultists. I'm eating jam cake with Devin Custard. Wallace B Games! Not sure what that is, but it sounds good. Please don't point that finger in my eye again. Oh, Corvus Fairfox? Ferox? You don't like it? But you got something in your eye, though. I got to help you out. Get that out for you. There you go. You must feel better. Does that feel better? Bring as much gets hot as possible. You only score a victory point by having your own guy blow himself up with gets hot. I love it. Oh, man. What an idea. How fun is that? So, that we can... that'd be entire... You know what? The thing is, if I played against Quirk, he'd slaughter me. Because he'd kill his own guys, and he would just lose. But he would win, because he would lose. So, can't do that against Quirk. Iron Warriors with as many big guns as possible. Yeah. How about 1,500 infantry-only armies? Very cool. See, I love it. I love these ideas. I love these suggestions. Tau against Imperial Guard, 1,500 points. No shooting, only close combat. I love it. I love it. I would fight against that Tau army. Currently painting my new custom Slanesh Herald. Well, then, good, sir. You will be blessed for your life because you're doing things that are good in this chaotic universe. Let's see. Only vehicle battle. Yeah, that'd be fun too. See, I love. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make this video, and then you guys can post all of these suggestions on that other video. As much as it's good that you're leaving them on here on the chat, they will be lost in the ether. Only here on this video. And it needs to be included on a separate video that's posted and that goes into the regular feeds. So I will work on that. I'm going to post that video. It's going to be suggestions, your suggestions, and we'll base our battles around it. Our lists and our battles around it. Because how fun of a series would that be? You guys make these comments and we'll create these lists according to it. Only Psychers. Okay. Only Psychers. I guess I'm bringing my Zinch, right? 1,850 point Templars versus World Eaters. See, now, that would be a good battle, but that is just the title of a bat rep. That's not specific things that we need to do within. You guys inspire me to paint my 25,000 points of Tyranids. Holy. It's the name of my cousin. I can't believe. Whoa. That is crazy, man. Hor versus GW Kill Team match. I like it. That'd be pretty entertaining. Great idea. Everything is dangerous terrain. Okay. Everything is dangerous. So I know Steve, he's going to bring things that would just have to make them anyway. Or maybe it's like everything is dangerous, but you have to bring jump packs. Armies consisting only of Nurgle bikers would be great. Dave, what would you say are the best heavy support units to get for Chaos? Best heavy support units are Havocs. Definitely. I would get that. Oh, and Deafy. Let's not forget Deafy. But if you're going to get Deafy, you got to include him in the Hellforge War Pack. Because when he's in the Hellforge War Pack, he gets to become a character. And when he's a character, he can fight in challenges. And trying to fight Deafy in a challenge is dangerous and scary. even if you have a power fist, because he's got a 5-up invuln save. Actually, in that case, in the Hellforge Warpack, he would get a 4-up invuln save because the character in that unit, in that formation, gets a 4-up invuln save. How awesome is that? You and Matt throwdowns. We tried that, and it worked. Let me just say, there was a very good positive response that we got from that, so yeah. Defiler Royal Rumble, indeed. Yes'm, yes'm. Challenge. Typhus and 210 cultist zombies. 1,850 point on both teams. Hello from Norway. Dark Mako 91. Yes. Excellent idea. It is said you can make your Defi to Psyker due to some rules in Traitor Legions. 'Tis possible. I have not explored these rules yet. Challenging using Defilers makes games hilarious. Yes, indeed it does. Although I will say this. Because of the formation, it includes other units that you can bring. Defi isn't the only option. You could bring Health. You could bring Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends, Hellbrutes. Unfortunately, Mauler Fiend beats Defi in a challenge when it comes to close combat. So it might be an idea to put him, to make him your character instead. Because he's got Lasher Tendrils, which minus the attacks characteristics of things that are in base contact with him. And if there's a Power Fist in base contact with you, if you have 2 sets of Lasher Tendrils on you, you take away 2 of his attacks, he's only ever hitting you with 1 attack with that Power Fist. That's a much better way of doing it, in my opinion. It's hard for me to say, but it's true. In addition to this, Mauler Fiend moves 12 inches because he's a siege crawler. Also a thing. Dang. Like that's just the thing, man. Kind of hurts, but what you gonna do? See, with Defi, though, he's got more utility use because he can shoot things and he can fight in close combat, whereas Mauler Fiend is 100% close combat, so, you know. Not to battle, but try to stat up the next demon Primarch of your choice. That would be very fun. Could be good in your battle report to have some shoot of all the table and see all of the table. Bjorn, what does one mean when one says this? To show the entire table when we are shooting? Oh, I think that's what you're talking about. We've experimented with that in the past, and we don't do that because ultimately it doesn't work out in terms of the interest in general. Statistically speaking, it's more interesting to watch a battle that's moving than a stationary battle, just the way it is. Any suggestion on how to start collecting Grey Knights and Space Wolves? Yeah, with Space Wolves, let me see. What do you need? What do I field when I bring Space Wolves? You're going to need Wolfen. I will say that. It's all about the Wolfen right now. You got to bring the Wolfen. And you gotta put the Frag cannons on them. Not the Frag cannons, the Frag launchers. Because you want them to be able to attack at initiative when they charge. And because that's a big deal. Wolfen are awesome. You'll love them. Kitted out properly, they will like you. They will make you like life. Dave is a Tau in disguise. Okay, was it though? Where is the block ban button? There it is. You don't say that. I got a Stompa, Angus Hudson White. Congratulations. You shall have fun with this. So, this is what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I do need to end the broadcast right now. It was a good, very fun discussion with you all at 3 and 4 in the afternoon. Stay tuned for next time. I'm going to post another date for the next Shrine of Chaos. And look for that. I'll probably be posting it on Facebook for the next Shrine of Chaos. Like that. That seemed to work last time. I bet a lot of you are watching this not knowing that this was going to come out today. It just kind of randomly popped up in your feed. And you're like, hey, what's this? And you clicked on it. That is fine too. But I think that doing that would be good. And I can certainly like to do what we're going to do here. I think I got to change the title of this. Yeah. So I'm going to change this. This is just for when this is posted afterwards. And what are we going to name it? Probably what we discussed most often in this, which was the Deathguard Vectorium. Yeah, let's do that. Makes the most sense. Okay, guys, you're awesome, and you guys are the reason why I do this. Just know that. Without you, I wouldn't be doing it. And I thank you, and I hope to continue doing this for a very long time. Thank you very much. Happy wargaming. See you in the next video.